Hey guys, this is Cobalt, here to give you a quick flight tutorial in ArmA for helicopters, and I'll probably throw in a biplane tutorial, even though that's pretty straightforward. Uh, I saw a offer, I guess you could call it, on the subreddit to make one of these, and I never saw any follow-up, so I decided to make one myself. Um, so getting right into it, first thing you're going to do before you get in a chopper is go into your controls and do a quick few edits that'll really help you get the hang of this a lot easier. Uh, Left turn and left pedal and right pedal are the same exact inputs. They both control the tail rotor, so that controls your yaw. And what I like to do in this game, just makes it easier, is to make sure that your mouse is always controlling only the pitch. So how you're going to do that is you're going to go like this. You're going to just click on either your left turn, your right turn, or your left pedal, right pedal. It doesn't matter which one it is. Um, and you're going to just delete the values out of them, like so. Alright, and then you're gonna, for me, I don't know, I like having, like I said, I like having my mouse control the pitch of my aircraft, um, and in contrast to that, I like having my keyboard control just the yaw and the way that the nose faces in, on the x-axis with my keyboard. So, what I do here is this is my bank left and my bank right, and this is basically if you were to be inside the helicopter, which way your main rotor is going to be kind of moving. So I'm going to delete this and bank plane. Yeah, okay. You just either you double click or you drag, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to switch these to mouse inputs instead of keyboard. Okay. Left pedal, right pedal. These are just going to switch to A and D respectively. Delete. E and D. Okay. And for if you guys are used to flying aircraft in games, most of controls nowadays are inverted. These are standard, so if you push your mouse up, your nose is going to go up. If you push it down, it's going to go down. Fairly straightforward. If you want, if that's comfortable for you, you can just leave this part alone. If you prefer inverted, go in here and just reverse them basically. So mouse up, delete this, mouse down. Right? Yeah. Okay. And that's pretty much it for controls, I believe. If you want to increase or change your values for your increase decrease thrust, that's up to you. Just this is what you really need to be aware of, is your left turn and your right turn and your left pedal right pedal, because those are the same exact thing. And if you leave them together, you get some really weird control or really weird maneuvers out of your helicopter, and it becomes a lot harder to kind of fine-tune your flying. So this is what's worked for me. Maybe it'll work for you. Maybe some other way will work for you. You'll just have to try it out yourself. Okay, so we should be done with that. Go back. Continue. Alright, so getting in. Of course, Q starts up your engine. If you're curious about the sound, I'm using JSRS mod. I'll put it in the description. But anyways, okay. So let's take off here. Okay. So, now that we're up in the air, I would say get as high as you feel comfortable and kind of just play around with your mouse a bit. As you can see, this is what the control scheme does, or how the aircraft reacts with the control scheme I'm using right now. All of this is my mouse. I'm not using my keyboard at all. This just makes it easier for me to kind of, like I said, fine-tune my flying, make last-minute adjustments or little corrections that are going to make things a lot easier for me in the air. A and D, so my, like I said, my yaw just controls the tail rotor. W and D, those are also my mouse or nose up, nose down buttons. But yeah, okay. So once you are kind of up in the air and kind of feel confident with what the aircraft is doing, it's pretty straightforward from there. You kind of just teach yourself. What I've noticed in DayZ is that a lot of people they get into situations where they go to a town or something, and I'm not sure how to say it without sounding like a douchebag. They get into town and they start flying really close to buildings, and they start putting themselves in situations where they can't really see what's happening around the aircraft. And ArmA's pretty darn good about catching you off guard. Most of the time, when you crash, it's because you ran into something, like your main rotors hit a tree that you couldn't see, or a wall or something like that. A good idea in ArmA is to always just kind of, and especially in DayZ, is to just kind of stay at a good altitude, and basically just make sure you're not in a place where you can clip things or anything like that, especially if you're new to flying or not good at flying or not comfortable with flying. You know, whatever your deal is, it's good just to stay, you know, at least 150 meters in the air, and that also makes it easier for you, or sorry, harder for you to be shot down or sniped out, you know, unless you're playing against really good players. For people, actually, let me back up a bit here. Also, one thing that you want to be aware of is what kind of aircraft you're flying. Of course, in DayZ, the UH-1Y is the most common one. There's mods out there, you know, DayZ and DayZ Epoch, or, you know, things like that, Origins, whatever, that have different aircraft in them, or different helicopter types in them, and they all have their own flight model. The best advice I can give you for getting comfortable with each of these is just go into the armory. If you don't know the get all gear trick, it's you hold your left control and your left shift, and then you hit the minus button on your number pad, and you type in get all gear, all one word, and it'll unlock every weapon, every vehicle, every, you know, skin, everything. It'll unlock everything in ArmA, and you can go around and play with them for as long as you like. And they even have little challenges and missions and shit like that that you can take advantage of and kind of hone your skills. But anyway, the UH-1Y, it's 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 a decent handling aircraft. It does have a lot of weight to throw around, so it's not going to be as nimble. You don't want to kind of take it in little places where where you're not absolutely sure it's not going to fit. It's got pretty good cruising speed. Just stays around 180. If you're kind of booking it, it'll go up to I think 220. But I like this helicopter a lot. I would prefer the UH-1Y, but what's there to say? It's your pretty much all-around aircraft. It's got good enough agility if you find yourself in a jam and you need to get out fast. It's got the speed to run or chase, and it's the most common out of DayZ. I'm not sure where I'm going with this. I'm just kind of talking right now. As far as flying it though, it's pretty much it's the best one to learn on, because you'll find yourself if you get comfortable with the Huey, everything else is going to be it's going to fall into place. But yeah. Anyway, let's see. What can I talk about here? For new players, I know that this little option right here, auto hover, is a really tempting thing to click on and to utilize. Don't do it. The auto hover button is pretty much the self-destruct button. It's gonna do this thing where you're gonna be flying along and you're gonna say, oh, I just want to go into hover, and it'll do that, bring you into nice hover. I'm not touching the keyboard and the mouse or anything like that right now. The thing is though, is that auto hover does exactly its job. It puts the bird into a hover, and that's where it locks it in. You can kind of try to fight it, and you still have control of your yaw, but as far as mouse and direction goes, like I'm really fighting it right now. I'm tossing my mouse all over the place. A lot of people forget that they're in auto hover, and it ends up getting them shot, or they end up using it closer to a building than they should have, and it wrecks their bird, and it's all around just a bad button to have there. You don't really need it. As far as gaining speed and bleeding speed or coming to a stop, think of your main rotor as kind of like an arm that's throwing the helicopter. It's the more you point it down, you're gonna lose altitude, but that pointing the propeller down is gonna give you more speed. Pulling it back, it's gonna toss that speed, and you're gonna slow. You'll gain altitude too. Helicopters in this game are more of a momentum thing than anything else. You're not going to automatically come to a stop when you want to. You're not going to turn as fast as you want to. You're not going to go up or down as fast as you want to. There's weight in this game, and it's pretty well represented. So there's going to be a lot of inertia that you have to account for, and that's what seems to slip most people up. And also the fact that even if you are just 1 degree from center, from like a zero stable hover, your helicopter's going to go somewhere. So you always need to be kind of looking around, using your control button, and fine-tuning your flying. I'm sorry if I'm kind of, you know, messing with my voice volume right now. Game volume's pretty loud. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it about helicopters, is watching where everything is, making sure that if you're going to go into a hover or anything like that, that you're as level as possible, if not always compensating for all the little inputs that you're putting into your controls. Even if you think you're completely level and completely stable, you're probably going to be going somewhere, you know, like I am now. This is generally a hover, what most people consider a hover. I'm still moving around. If I were in town in between buildings, this could be, you know, it makes it a bit dicey. It makes it a bit dicier. So for people who are new, just make sure that you're always watching around your aircraft. It's really good to go into third person and just keep looking around, making sure everything's clear, and keep, you know, fine-tuning. Don't panic, and don't jerk your mouse around. If you have a crappy mouse, don't fly. Just that's a bad idea, because you need to be doing a lot of little minute changes to the way that you fly to keep yourself stable and keep yourself and your friends or whoever's riding with you alive. And yeah, that's pretty much all it is to it. It's just understanding that there's weight and inertia in this game, and just paying attention to the details of your flying. I know I've been rambling a lot. I worked for 12 hours and I have not been asleep. So let's see, a couple other things I can talk about. Techniques. Okay, so when people come in for a landing, I see this a lot in DayZ videos, and I'm not sure why or where this became a thing, but when people go to land helicopters, they seem to do this weird thing where they have to come out of full, what I like to call a full sail or top speed or whatever, and they want to land, let's say they want to land at the airfield right near the ATC. Alright, so they'll bomb in there as fast as they can, and they'll see the ATC, and okay, let's land, you know, right beside it. So they'll bomb in at 200 kilometers per hour and do that. Just jerk the stick back and come down really slow, really level and really predictably. And usually you're watching them do this through a sniper scope. It's not a good technique. I understand that most people, you know, or not most people, I should say, but a good portion of people in DayZ aren't familiar with flying helicopters or anything. I'm not saying that I'm an expert pilot or anything, but like that. But it's generally when you want to land somewhere, it's generally a good idea to be kind of always in motion. So if I wanted to make that same kind of landing, first, you know, because I'm paranoid, I would fly over where I want to land, you know, in third person, looking around, seeing if there's any sign of player activity. If there's, you know, anything that's going to be a danger to me, that's just makes it a bad idea to put the bird down at all. Look at that first. Do a quick flyover. If you're running low on fuel, trust me, it's you know, it's worth it, and it could save your life. It could save your friend's life and whoever you're flying with, whatever. But yeah, generally just a good pass over of where you want to land first is recommended. Secondly, when you're coming in from landing, especially if you're moving pretty fast, bleed your speed. Just dump not as much speed as you can, but get it to a speed where you can maneuver effectively. You're not going to be worrying about coming down too slow or coming down too fast, and if need be, like if you start getting shot at, you can pull out of there and still have some power retained from your trip in. Let me just show you, because this rambling, I'm sure, is confusing a lot of people. Okay, so let's say me and my friends are flying around. We're looking for people to kill, or we're looking to loot, and we want to land right by the aircraft control tower, which is a terrible tactic if you're looking to kill people and looking to, you know, catch someone off guard or whatever. But okay, so what I would do is, like I said, fly around, look around, look for players, look for zombies, whatever, you know, whatever it might be, telltale signs of danger. Alright? And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of gain altitude, make this heavy bank, come down, and start holding Z to decrease our power. And that's gonna also, you know, decrease our elevation. And then we're gonna kind of pull back on the stick. See our speed decreasing. Watch our tail. Put him down. Everybody gets out, and now I can fly away. You know, it's a lot smoother. It gives you time to react if something happens. You're not bursting in, jerking back on the stick, and then gaining a bunch of altitude and just coming down at a slow level pace where, you know, you're just asking to be shot. Just as much as you can, especially if you're new, practice landing with some forward motion. It's always harder to shoot someone that's moving in two different directions than it is moving in one. So, you know, landing somewhat like an airplane, mostly like, you know, a real helicopter would, is a lot better than just pulling back on the stick and then coming straight up and down. Alright, so what else is there to say? Oh, I can teach you guys a trick that's not often used in a lot of other games, because a lot of other games aren't simulators. Let's go to an open field real quick. Okay, so get a little altitude here. Let's say you're flying along, or you're hovering for some reason in the middle of an open field, and someone with a 50 caliber or a PKP or something like that lights you up, and all of a sudden you lose power. Alright, so let's simulate this. What you can do, what ArmA allows you to do is auto-rotate, which is basically using the RPMs of the dying engine to land the bird without power. I'm not sure if that makes sense to anybody, but basically, let me show you here. See if I can do this correctly. So, I guess it's kind of hard to do it without an actual damaged engine, or running out of fuel or whatever. Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to use the dying engines, like I said, the RPMs, to basically float the helicopter down and land either completely fine or with damage. But the main thing is that the helicopter is going to survive the crash. It's not going to blow up, and you're not going to lose a bunch of your stuff. So the first thing that you want to do to practice, I would say, because this takes a lot of practice, and I'm still not very good at it, but I'm able to get a damaged bird down without it blowing up, and that's a plus. So what you want to do is, as soon as you lose power, it's going to sound really weird, but as soon as you lose power to your engine, hold Z. Alright? And also what you want to do is ta-da! Alright, so basically what happens is you hold Z, alright, and you nose forward to get to about in between 50 and 70 knots is where you want to be, until you reach about 20 meters off the ground. And then you're gonna let go of your Z, and you're gonna hit your Q. And you don't have any power in your engine, so it's not gonna do anything. It's not gonna power it back up. But you do get to take advantage of saved RPMs, which you saved somehow from holding Z. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but basically you're gonna do exactly what I did there. Is you're gonna land, and things are going to go red, things are going to get damaged, people are going to get hurt, but nobody's going to die, and the bird's not going to blow up, and you can still get into your gear and whatever. It's something that takes a lot of practice, and what I would suggest is, if that's something you really want to learn, find an ArmA group or an ArmA clan or whatever, and see if you can talk to the colonel or whoever's in command of the helicopter divisions, and ask them if you can, or if they can teach you how to auto rotate, because it's hard to show without having admin commands to have a new helicopter, or to drain all my fuel, so I can give you an actual simulation of a crash and an actual simulation of an auto rotation. Yeah, so I know this tutorial, quote unquote, has been a little rough because I ramble a lot, and I say things twice and I say things different ways and I don't quite explain things right. It's a really shitty tutorial, but I hope it might help somebody. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a message on Reddit. Go ahead and leave comments. You know, just ask me what you want to know, because I'm a lot better at answering questions than I am just giving basic instruction. Obviously, you guys have seen how that goes. Anyway, like I said, if you have questions, comment or note me on Reddit. I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Alright, so you guys take care, and good luck flying.